Let me do a brief overview of the material in the class for Chapter 4. Oh, lovely. This is the time of year where there's a lot of ATVs that go down the road, and they're very noisy. Okay, so as always, we have the pre-class survey. Remember, if you go here and you click on the link, it'll take you to the survey. Let me actually go there. Here's this. Oh, get out of here. Sorry about that. It's the standard survey. Your name, anything. Please read this carefully. What do you want more information about from chapter 3, which was the chapter about culture? Remember, I said we're going to talk a little bit about intercultural communication competence. That's a mouthful. At the beginning of class. And then now when you're looking at chapter 4, you're looking at the 3 different parts of the chapter. And then the questions I always ask: what do you want to have more information about? What did you especially like? And one thing you could share with the class. And then I put in here, for this discussion, what do you want? What role do you want to take? Because I'm going to encourage you, if you have not been the facilitator or the reporter, those are the ones that people are usually scared of, consider taking on that role. God, there's another one. Okay, sorry. Alrighty, so let me go back to content. So make sure you do that before class. I use that when I'm constructing the class, so hopefully we can use our time wisely. Okay. For chapter 4, I have some exercises for you. There's exercise 4.1 and 4.2. I understand time is short. I'm encouraging you to do these ASAP. This is more or less what we're talking about for the discussion. So if you don't do these exercises, you're not going to be able to do the discussion. Exercise 4.1 says, who do you think you are? So if you think about what we were talking about last week in terms of co-culture, in a sense, some of these are co-culture, some of these are not. But in any case, you're going to do, I think they come up with, I forget, 24 of them, and then they only give you room for 20 of them. You don't have to do this part. Don't worry about that. Okay, so after you do that, what it says for you to do is take the 20 that you came up with, and then they suggest putting them on index cards, 3x5 cards. And then you put them in order in terms of what you think is most important. You're creating your perceived self. And then find 2 different people who I would say have a fairly close relationship with you, a good friend, a partner, a romantic partner, a sibling, a parent, and then give them the words, the concepts out of order, and have them put them in order. And then you're going to see, in a sense, it's how you present yourself to that other person. And then afterwards it says, again, you don't have to write the answers to those 2, but that's interesting to think about, because then when you're in the discussion, that's what you can talk about. Okay. This one is something new. I've never asked students to do this before. Brene Brown is a social worker, licensed marriage, family, whatever it is. Oh, in any case, she's a sociologist. She's done a lot of work with people looking at kind of authenticity. She started by talking about vulnerability. And from her book, Dare to Lead, she has come up with this list of lots. Okay. Okay, why isn't it working? Okay. These list of values. And let me make this smaller. Okay, yeah, because it's not showing up. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you are going to come up with the one value that you think is most important to you. Okay, this was hard. I did this, and I started by crossing out the ones that were like, oh, nope, 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 nope. And then I probably had around somewhere between 5 and 10 that were really challenging for me to winnow out and come up with the number one value. Okay, so if this, you can open values here. So what happens? Okay, yeah, because it kind of cut off at diversity. So this might be a way to do it. Okay, back to here. So this is, our text does not specifically talk about the idea of values, but if you think about it, it is our values, our values are how we define ourselves. So that is really key to our self-concept. So I thought that would be a really interesting idea to look at, and we'll talk about this just kind of in general terms. Okay, so now let me go back to, here we go. All right, sorry. Then, as always, are the lectures and videos, the mini lectures. This is one of them. There weren't too many videos mentioned in this chapter. The only one they mentioned was the Dove reverse selfie, but a former edition of the textbook talked about the Dove real beauty sketches. And we talked about how women perceive themselves and how other people perceive them. And then, of course, there's a spoof that took the same thing but put men in them. And please, this is a joke. This is a spoof. I'm not trying to make a statement about, women are worthy and men are not. I just thought it was just something. Maybe we can talk about the culture, our culture, and maybe not. Okay, so here's the discussion. In your group, remember, it's going to be a new group, so you're going to start with some, general, what's your name, how are you, how was your day, what's your major, whatever you want to talk about. And then, what did you discover about your perceived self and your presenting self by doing exercise 4.1 and 4.2. And then, what are the characteristics of impression management that you see are coming into play in this difference? Okay, and what the characteristics are, there are three of them. We strive to manage a multifaceted identity. 2, impression management is collaborative. And 3, impression management can be deliberate or unconscious. So that's what you're going to discuss as a group. And then in your group, you are going to share one idea that you all pretty much agreed on, either about the perceived self, the presenting self, or about impression management. When you're sharing with the group, you don't have to give us I said this person said this, the other person said this. You can give us kind of an overall. All right. Let's see. There's supplemental material. We won't have a journal to do for a few weeks, but if you like the topic of the self, I have a few videos and articles that you could potentially use. Okay. Let's see. There is, as always, a quiz, and there is the post-class feedback. Remember, you don't have to do anything with this. I just go in and give you a grade. I'm sorry, I have allergies. I'm rubbing my eyes. This is here because I need a spot to attach the grade. All right. This was much longer than I wanted it to be. I hope this makes sense to you, and we'll talk about all of this on Wednesday.